What's up, everyone? My name is Smogtours101, and today we're back with something different. I've been trying to get into Smogtours, and today I'm going to show you my first couple of replays of the first Smogtour that I've been in. And this is the team I've used in the first two rounds. Team basically is Mega Manectric, standard Mega Manectric, T-Bolt, Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Ice Punch, HP Ice, and standard Life Orb Bisharp with 52 speed def investment, which is to take the Draco's better. It's for something. Well, it's basically all the speed you need. And I always run Adamant Bisharp because that's just better than Jolly, because you don't outspeed anything significant over this speed. And Spexcalio, because Spexcalio is probably my favorite mon in the tier. It's the mon I feel most comfortable with using. It's a Hydro Pump, Skull, Secret Sword, and Icy Wind. I think throughout the game it actually had a hidden power flying, if I remember correctly. Then there's a standard mixed defense with Powdown, Whirlwind, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Slack Off. I need Stone Edge on this team because otherwise this team just straight up loses to Talonflame. And with Stone Edge on a Powdown, it just doesn't. So that's good, that's better. And now we have a member which, if Navi is going to watch this video, he's actually absolutely going to adore this mon. But I'm using a specially offensive Bronzong just because it pairs up really nice with a Powdown. The only thing that I kind of struggle with is like a very powerful fighting type, but Hippowdon usually has that in the back of his pocket. So this is actually a really good defensive core. I've been really enjoying it. And the only other problem I'm seeing is like Zard Y. Well, Zard Y is just a problem to everything, I think. Apart from the Lottie twins. And even though those don't really appreciate it. But it's still from Toxic, Jar Ball, and HP Ice. HP Ice because otherwise I don't really have a solid answer to like Garchomp. Well, I do have solid answer with a lot of my mons, but I don't really have a solid switch in, so I can actually get off a lot of damage as he thinks he's safe to set up his Stealth Rocks. And this is I think it's a 3-hit KO after Stealth Rocks and 1 layer of Spikes. I don't have Spikes in this team, by the way. You see Scallopy here, but I don't have Spikes. Yeah, then it's probably going to go down. After some residual damage, this HP Ice is going to be 2 KO. But this is a Life Orb Adamant Scolipede. It's an offensive one, and it actually has been working out really well. Scolipede in the current metagame is absolutely lovely because Poison Jab, Megor, and Aqua Tail is great coverage actually. Because the only thing that can really wall this is Garchomp, and I have different things to deal with Garchomp. I have HP Ice and Manectric. I have Icy Wind, and I have just Keldeo in general, and both of my walls kind of wall Garchomp, so I'm not too fussed. This is basically my late game cleaner, and yeah. So this is the first replay, which I played against some noobs, and this is my first round of Smogtours. Let's see how we do. I do decide to lead off with Keldeo because looking at his team, he doesn't really have all that much for Keldeo. His Keldeo switch-ins are Fable, which cannot take two Specs Hydro Pumps. It possibly takes Skulls, but that's dependent on rolls. A Hydro Pump doesn't depend on rolls, it just depends on whether it hits or not. Rotom, and as soon as Rotom just dies, Rotom dies and Garchomp gets really damaged, and I got some damage on the Heracross, then Scolipede just wins. So that's actually really good. So I lead off with Keldeo, and he doesn't want to stay in, risking his Heracross to get burned. Well, see, there we go. So I figured, you know what, maybe he thinks he can stay in and actually nom a hit for me. But I do have HP Flying, so let's just kill this Heracross turn 1, which was a mistake. I did not mean to have HP Flying on here. But he goes into Rotom, and that's just unfortunate. So now I'm forced into something else, which is going to be my Bronzong, as he doubles out into T-Tar, which is just really risky. But I have to switch out. I have to go into Powdown. Luckily for me, he doesn't pursue Trap, but he gets a crit on a crunch, so so since I want to keep Hippowdon healthy, because I want to be able to take hits from... Oh, never mind. I just double into Manectric right here because I predicted switching to Rotom right here. That's exactly what I did. So I go into Manectric. He does that. He doubles back into T-Tar. I didn't feel like he would go into Garchomp because I could predict the HP Ice. So I'm just gonna full switch. The thing he probably wanted to do was actually just predict the HPI, he's going to T-Tar and then pursue trap me to get off a lot of damage on the Mega Manectric and then potentially get up hazards. But that's not the case. I get momentum by going to Kelia right here, and I don't think he wants to stay in. So what I'm actually going to do is fire off a Hydro Pump, which is going to work out in my favor because as soon as I Scald, I snag a burn on a Rotom. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, I just really want to get rid of Rotom because that opens a lot of holes for my team, especially as soon as I get this Garchomp kind of weakened and I get some damage off on a Heracross, then I'm just going to be absolutely grand. So I Scald again as he full switches out, and that does a lot of damage, but once again he doesn't really have a solid answer to this Keldeo. So he goes into T-Tar, and he reveals to me that he's Choice Scarf. He reveals to me that he's Choice Scarf by going for the superpower and extra outspeed me, so that's just unfortunate. But this straight up allows me to go out into my... I think I'm going to go out into my Hippowdon right here. No, I should go into Scolipede because Scolipede quite resists that and can just get off a hit on something, which is going to be the Garchomp, but I actually end up doubling out into my Bronzong because I really want to get up rocks just to whittle this Garchomp and actually get residual damage off on the Heracross. But here you can see what HPI actually does for this team. HPI does on Bronzong, it does 43%, and now I go into Bisharp, and I figure, you know what, I've already established that Scolipede is definitely my win condition this game, and I need damage off on Garchomp where I can preferably kill it with a Poison Jab, because that's 100% accurate, and that's the only 100% accurate move that Scolipede carries. And then there's also Heracross. So I actually end up, oh, never mind, I double out, hit 2 Bronzong, I see Earthquakes, and he doesn't want to take another HPIs, so he's going to switch out. I didn't realize that, but Rotom is actually going to go down to this HPIs plus the burn damage. I've played this a couple of days ago, so I should really, for the next episode I'm going to rewatch my replays before I actually start recording. But it goes into T-Tar, and here I just realized, well, he's going to Pursuit, but I actually still switched out because I had to. But now that I realize, I'm just going to go into Bisharp because he's not going to Superpower, because last time I went into Hippowdon. So what I'm going to do now is just knock off something, because as soon as I'd get rid of this thing's knockoff, then I'd get rid of this thing's item, then Manectric also does a number to his team. So here I realize, well, Garchomp is going to Earthquake or something like that. So I'm just going to Sucker Punch. So this opens a lot of things, because T-Tar dies to a Mega Horn at this point. Excadrill needs to get off some damage to die to an Aqua Tail, and Clefable gets 2 hit KO and can't really do that much in return. So as soon as I full switch out with my Manectric into the thing. But he sends out a threat, which is his Heracross, and he's going to go into +1, which is the scary as all hell. So now I'm going to Mega Manectric because I need to get off some damage off on this thing. I need to get some damage off on this thing as he goes into T-Tar again. I was thinking he was going to go into Excadrill right here, but that's probably the next turn because he's going to do that at one point in his game. But here I just go to Hippo, and we've already seen that he is Scarf, so this Sand is only going to be lasting 5 turns. But he really wants to keep his Sand as he goes into Clefable, as I just slack off because I want to stay healthy. And here I figure, you know what, my best play right here is just go for Whirlwind, because I need to get off residual damage off on his Mons, and this is probably the last time T-Tar switched in because the Smogon statistics are really janky. But he's going to go into Heracross, which is lovely because I'm just going to fire off an Earthquake because I figured he'd go back into Clefable right there. The reason I went Earthquake right there is because I needed some damage off of Clefable to ensure the Adamant Poison Jab would Oko. Adamant Life or Poison Jab with Oko to Clefable. Because as soon as that was going to happen, Scolipede just straight up wins. So I decided to sack my Bisharp right here, which I kind of wanted to keep because of the Excadrill, because I really wanted to get up a Sucker Punch on the Excadrill, because no one ever runs Substitute Excadrill, because that's a waste of move slot, really. So Heracross is going to put in a number on my team. Well, Heracross is scary right here, but here I figure, you know what, here I should have Flamethrowered. Like legitimately should have Flamethrowered, because it would have gone off some damage on the Clefable, which was what I needed. Would have killed the T-Tar, would have done a lot of damage to the Excadrill. But the stupid fuck I am, I just go for Volt Switch and it doesn't do anything because it's a ground type. Here I figure, you know what, I could still have use for Mega Manectric since it outspeeds Scarftar, since it does some damage to Clefable, and it outspeeds the Mega Heracross. So I'm just gonna go on a Powdon right here as the Earthquakes, and that is almost a 2-hit KO. It's very scary, but I'm not in range anymore of his Life Orb heads. So what I'm going to do is just slack off right here and win this one-on-one. But T-Tar does have enough health to live at 1%, and here I figure, you know, I'm just gonna stall out his sand a little, slack off on his crunch, see what he wants to do, because Hippo is my T-Tar counter. But what ends up happening is he's gonna get a defense drop, which is not as bad, because I can probably take another one, because he brings me down to 60%, but he gets another defense drop, so this means that I cannot live anything from anything at this point. So Hippo, unfortunately, is gonna go down. So here I've stayed, of course, in the section to the right, but you probably can't see it, I'm not sure. But I just decide, you know, okay, it's time. I'm just going to sack my Manectric right here, and then I'm just going to go back into Hippo, and that's the way I'm going to win this game, because, as I said, Scolipede is my win condition. It's still in the back, and that's just lovely. But that's not what's going to happen, because he's going to sack, I think, his Heracross, or he's going to go into Clefable, but I think I Earthquake right here because I just want to get rid of that thing, because the only thing standing between me and victory is the drill in the sand. So sand subsides, that's just great, and now he just has to go into Clefable, which is fine because I can just whirlwind this thing out. I don't want you to set up Calm Mines, that would be absolutely terrible, and I just want you to go away, Clefable, go away. So he goes back an extra drill. And this guy is going to Iron Head me right here, and this guy is in fact going to get a flinch. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. He's not going to get one flinch. He is gonna get, oh well, he's gonna get a crit on the next one. I thought he flinched me twice, but yeah, he got a crit on the next one. So Hippo is dead. Excadrill, however, is in range of Aqua Tail. He, at this point, does my opponent probably realizes, well, I'm fucked. So he goes into Clefable, and maybe if he was like Life Orb Flamethrower, well, if he just had Flamethrower, then he probably would have won right there, but he just actually not, because he... Did this thing set up rocks? No, probably Garchomp set up rocks. Yeah, it did. So, that's gonna be a good game, though, because he doesn't have Flamethrower. He does have T-Wave over Flamethrower. And I'm actually going to land my next poison jab, and I will kill that Clefable. So that's round number 1. I'm just straight up gonna go into round number 2. Let's see how far we are with the recording. It's only 13 minutes. And we're playing King Tsunami, and King Tsunami has a threatening ass team with a Mega Gardevoir, which is just always a problem. Well, I have a Bronzong, which is kind of a switch in, but he has a Keldeo, which I don't really have switch ins for, apart from like Bronzong. So basically, and there's a Latias, which I don't have switch ins for, apart from Bronzong. So Bronzong has a very important job this game. It has to check Keldeo, which can't do anything back to because I have HBI's Gyro Ball. It has to wall Lati, and it has to wall the Gardevoir. So let's see how this goes. So I just lead with Keldeo once again because Keldeo is a beast and has just a great matchup against his team. I just lead with Siren. Oh, that's fine. He doesn't want his thing to just get weakened turn 1. As it goes in a Rotom Wash, as I think I Scald. Yeah, I Scald because that thing cannot Oko me, but I just Scald right there. That's fine. I just want to go into my Bronzong just to get up my hazards. And that's also my only switch into Rotom. So Bronzong is already burned. It needs to check Rotom, Mega Gardevoir, also kind of a check to Jirachi, but Hippo can do that as well. So it needs to check 4 Mons on his team right now. So the weight of the world is on Bronzong's shoulders, that's for sure. But let's just go a little bit faster. So I switch out Bronzong, predicting a Volt Switch, and that's exactly what's going to happen because I don't want Bronzong to get any more weakened because, yeah, as I said, the weight of the world, it's on its shoulders. You cannot risk going into Garchomp right here because as soon as I HP Ice, that's just straight up going to die. But he actually ends up pain splitting on my T-Bolt, and here I figure, you know what, he's not going to stay in. He's definitely going to go under his Garchomp right now, and I'm just going to go for the HP Ice. So I get the prediction right, and I kill the Garchomp, so that's actually really good. That actually alleviates, well, makes Hippo's job a lot easier. But I figured he was Scarf because he was going to go into this thing, but I figured, you know what, I'm +1, so why just not stay in? But I go into Bisharp because I recognize that this thing is Scarf. So he's probably not going to stay in. We could risking all these things, and I can just get a free knockoff. So I'm just going to Pursuit and actually kill the Jirachi. So early game, turn 8, I'm actually ahead quite a bit. So now going to Bronzong on the Spec Scald, and that is going to be 2KO. So Bronzong, even though the weight of the world was on its bell, on its shoulders, it just dies. It just dies of tragic death, and what this means is that every single time Mega Gardevoir comes in, it's gonna kill something. And you know, when that's the case, it's just not a lovely time. But here it goes in a minute. I go into Mega Manectric, which is a Tone Breaker, by the way, but he goes in a Lottie, and what I should have done here is Full Switch, but with my stupid face, I didn't. I just T-Balled because I figured, you know what, this thing is going to kill everything on his team, and I realized, wait, that's a stupid idea, because with Bronzong on, Latios is also going to get a kill every single time he comes in, which is more than likely the most tragic thing ever. He's gonna Draco right here, as I Sucker Punch in the next turn because I predict him to stay in, and I just want my Bisharp to stay alive. But what I should, well, hindsight, I should have knocked off, but I obviously didn't know. So I still stand by my play. That Sucker Punch is the best play I could have gone for. So I end up clicking Sucker Punch 3 times because, as you can tell, I also no longer have Keldeo Switch in. Which is straight up terrible, and in order for me to win, as you can see once again, Rotom is weakened to the point where Poison Jab or Mega Horn will almost take it out. So I need to get off a bit more chip damage on the Rotom. I need to get off some damage on the Keldeo, which it wasn't a lot. Adamant Life Orb does a minimum of 62, so I just needed a little bit more damage on this thing, and it straight up Oko's Mega Gardevoir, and Mega Horn, as soon as I land, destroys Latios. So those are the things I need to do right now. So basically my team is falling apart. My team is completely, even though I had a great start, turn 8, it was 6-4 for me, now it's turn 50, and now it's back to 4-4 again. So I gotta go Manectric. And then just Volt Switch. Because Manectric is legitimately the only thing that has speeds. As well as Keldeo as this Crimson Rose. So I'm gonna Volt. I just legitimately yawned during my commentary, but oh well. So I sent a Scolipede, and I have to protect here because the Scolipede is my win condition. I can't let it go down. And now I protect, and which doesn't work out. And this means that Rotom is no longer in range of, well, a Mega Horn. I don't think, because it does a maximum of 63. I'm not sure for that calc, but I go to Keldeo because he's not gonna Volt Switch. He's gonna Willow, and I just need to get off damage off this. I need to get damage off this thing. And the first time, I make a stupid play because I go for Secret Sword. I should have gone Scald, but I don't. And now he's back at 63%, which means that he's no longer at the health I need him to be at to allow my sweep. I just need to get a Rocks. And I need to get this Rotom to like 60%. But it's Secret Sword, and I got a crit, which doesn't really matter because this guy was going to roost anyway. So I got a Hippo. I figure, well, if he wants to Draco, then he's gonna die. Then he's gonna die to Sand, but he actually doesn't. Wait, I can no longer get a Bronx because Bronzong is dead. So the win condition I just told you is completely fictional. But I go for Stone Edge, on his Crimson Rose. That's fine, because now I can actually just start whirlwinding things out as he probably goes out into his Rotom Wash, and I'm just going to either Stone Edge again, which I do, and now this thing is in range. Now Rotom Wash is in range once again, and I can. He's not gonna go for a Volt Switch right here, I don't think. And if he wants a Pain Split, then Kelly's probably my best bet because they don't have a lot more. But he Wisps. Kelly dodges again, which at this point he's like, "Oh, you lucky fuck," and that's completely true. But I don't want to Icy Wind here because as soon as he stays any Volt Switch is predicting my Icy Wind, then I'm just going to die. And I think still at this point I still have HP Flying, which is not great. Which admittedly is not great, but I have to Secret Sword, and now I have to go back to Hippo again, because probably Sand plus Life Orb damage will take him out, even though it's 17%. The Showdown is a big fat liar all of the time, so that's how it works. But he roosts again. I'm actually going to speed this thing up a bit. So he roosts again, and I figure, you know what, let's just Stone Edge again because I need that, and I crit him again. Which I don't think matters all that much, because now he can roost just again, and I can whirlwind him out right there. As it goes in a Gardevoir, and that's just terrible. But he actually decides, you know what, I'm just gonna go on a Rotom Wash. I decided, you know what, let's just get some damage on this Gardevoir, which I don't need, but I figure, well, it's in my face right now. I don't have Switch in, so let's just do this. So I go to Keldeo again on his Queen of Roses, and Latios is not in range. So here I'd make the clever play, about fucking time Socrates 101, and I actually do the Scald thing, and I get a burn, which is lovely, because this is exactly what I needed, because now it's no longer switching to Secret Sword. I can probably, Keldeo doesn't beat it 101 because it's slower, but this makes my job a lot easier. So Sandstream comes in, everything is gonna get damaged even more. I get off a bit more Stone Edge damage, which brings it super in range of Poison Job. And here at this point I figure, you know what, I just want to stay in, whirlwind this thing out, because he's more than likely gonna overpredict. And he goes in a Distant Blue. And this is exactly the damage. Well, now Poison Jab is a roll. Now Poison Jab has like a 70% chance to knock it out. So I go to Manectric, and as soon as I click Volt Switch right here, I just straight up win. I just straight up win, as long as Scolipede is going to hit its Mega Horn. The hacks have not been in my favor these last couple of games. Well, I got some crits right here, left and right, but those all didn't really matter. What I'm gonna do is go game right here, and I'm just gonna Mega Horn as he goes Rotom Wash. That's fine. I actually end up going Poison Job because I calced it, and it's gonna take it out, so that's good. Now he has to go into Keldeo because Keldeo is the only one that could potentially live this. So I just don't like the word potential. So I just go into Keldeo, sack my own Keldeo, and then maybe he wants to keep in his thingy. What I probably should have done here is actually T-Bolt. Because Mega Manectric cannot kill this thing. I should have definitely T-Bolted there, but now I have to just protect again, as he is going to roost. And now I can probably take it out with a Poison Jab. I do take it out with a Poison Jab, and now I figure, well, he's gonna Keldeo, but I don't have another sack. If I had another sack, I'd have guaranteed won this game. However, I don't. So I need to Poison Jab, and I do get to roll, which is great. And now he's gonna go into his Mega Gardevoir, and he calls me a lucky fuck, and he actually ends up forfeiting the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed my first 2 rounds of Smogtours. I know that I really enjoyed my first 2 rounds of Smogtours. Hopefully, yeah, leave a like, and just stay tuned for my second upload, which is going to be with a different team. And my third upload is going to be with, well, no, my second upload is going to be game 3, 4, and 5, and maybe there will be another upload after. So that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.